Hey everyone, the Screaming Geek Media. I am Jerry the Geek. Today is a special day. We celebrate 1 year since I started my YouTube channel. So I did a couple changes, updated my intro, and decided I've only changed that once before, so I throw something else up there today for a special occasion. Also did a background change. Of course, you don't see the whole thing, so here's the actual photo of it. In the middle is a Warlock poster, and on the sides are two lithographs that were done by fantasy artist Ken Kelly. The one on my right's depicting King Kong is actually called the Mighty King. And the one on my left is John Carter of Mars. So I figure both of them are movie related, so I thought I've had these for ages. So they've been up in the living room for a long time, so I thought I'd bring them down and put them down here temporarily for a backdrop for a little while. Now to start off, I thought I'd just do a little rundown, like my history of physical media. I mean, I touched base on this in my evolution of physical media videos. I talk about the whole journey of different formats. Now, I highly recommend checking that series. It's like a 4 or 5 video series talking about all the different formats that movies were released on. But myself, I got into the VHS. And once the video store popped up in Van Wert, Ohio, where I grew up, started working there. I was probably only like 14 years old, maybe 15 tops. And over time, I mean, movies back then they weren't cheap. They were $50 to $60 a piece. And I was actually, I made some pretty decent money mowing, did quite a few yards to my dad. So I actually bought quite a few movies and paid that $60 a pop. It wasn't until Top Gun came out, that's what changed the whole landscape of home media, because people really became interested in. So they started selling them at a cheaper rate off and on. It wasn't all titles; only select titles studios would pick to put as a sell through. And finally, over time, they just started releasing everything at a lower cost because people were collecting. I continued with the VHS for quite a while. It wasn't until, and then I finally got into, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, high-def DVD. And being a geek, one of the geeky things, I do, probably a lot of people do, keep a list of everything they have, but I do as well. I have a spreadsheet, title, the format, if it's a steel book, and then if, for the 4Ks, if it has Dolby Vision or HDR10 Plus, or if it's a special edition. So in all, with DVDs, I have approximately 1,060 titles. Blu-rays, I have about 875. 4Ks, I've got 281. I actually did not think I had that many. I've only been buying 4K since, we got our TV 3 years ago in 2020. So I've only been getting movies since then. High-def DVD, I still have about 50 titles, and I still actually play those once in a while. Well, a few of the titles have not been released on 4K yet, so I go back and watch those. So in all, I've got about over 2,200 titles in my collection. And out of the whole collection, I've only got 19 steelbooks. I'm not a big steelbook collector. Don't get me wrong, they are nice. Some of them are downright gorgeous. I'd love to have, but at such a high price point sometimes, I just can't, especially being with my wife as the only one working, so I'm kind of limited. We have a limited budget, which she'll let me spend on movies. If I could afford it, I would get more steel books. Like I said, they are nice. But the ones I have is basically, if I can see them cheaper, I'll go ahead and, buy them. Not included those numbers is my Laserdisc. I don't have a player anymore, but I still have my entire collection. I got about 100 titles. I did a video early on last year with highlights some of my prized possessions in Laserdisc. If I got rid of my collection, there's certain ones I would not get rid of. Now, besides the movie collection, my home theater, I didn't get in the home theater when I still lived at home. We just had the VCR and old crappy TV. Well, it wasn't until I think in 1994 is when I moved out on my own. And that's when I decided to jump into home theater. And, back then it was only Dolby Pro Logic, so I got a Harman Kardon receiver, some JBL package. And over time I started replacing the speakers a couple at a time and went in and got into Klipsch, which since I love Klipsch, they're the best speakers out there for movies and music. Now I figure 1994, and here it is, 2023. I'm on just my third receiver. I'm always one, I like to spend an extra. I'm not afraid that if I can afford it, I'll spend the extra money for good quality. I will not go cheap. My first receiver was, like I said, a Harman Kardon. Just had Dolby Pro Logic. And then when I got into DVD, I upgraded the receiver to the receiver was still good, so I went ahead and traded in and got one that was compatible with Dolby Digital and DTS. And then in 07, when Blu-ray and high-def DVD came out, got the new high-def DVD, and also went ahead and got a new Denon. I went to a Denon receiver, and I love Denon. They are freaking awesome, which is what I have today still. I'd love to have Atmos, but I just can't. That's a lot of money to fork out for a really good Denon Atmos receiver, plus the extra speakers. My living room isn't really set up for adding those extra speakers, so for the time being, I'm going to be stuck with a 5.1 for a while, but in itself, I still love it. I have some great time watching movies here. Now, my living room, here you'll see this picture was taken from the kitchen doorway. It basically looks, you can see it's a long, narrow, there wasn't really no options of it. There was no other way to set this up. So, in this photo, you can see the TV over on the right, and the couch setup is on the left side, so it's about the only way I could do it. This photo I was actually taking from my seat on a couch, on my prime viewing position. It's not centered perfectly, but I tried to balance it between where me and my wife sit, so we got, equal. Our son sits between us the way it was set up. But, you can see the TV here. I got a 65-inch QLED from TCL. Underneath it, you can see the center speaker. It's a Klipsch from the KLF series, the Legend series. They do not make these anymore. This is just for a center speaker, this is a freaking beast. Underneath on the stand, the Rotel 5-channel amplifier and 200 watts per channel. Next to it is the Denon receiver, and next to that is actually my HD DVD player, my Blu-ray, and I got a region-free DVD player, a little cheapo. Now down on the bottom shelf we have a Denon Super Audio CD and DVD audio player. Then I have the Xbox 360. Yes, 360. It's outdated. A Wii and a PS2. Yes, 2, not 5. PS2. Now this photo kind of tells you a little the speaker placement because of the wall that the TV set up against. There's doorways on each side, so I was kind of limited on where to put the speakers. I've always been a person that I don't want them too close. I like to have them far away and toe them in a little bit to kind of fill the room. So you can see the left speakers on the left side of the door. And this photo shows the right side. Again, has another doorway, so the speakers up on the opposite side of that. And like I said, I got both speakers towed in. This photo actually shows the right speaker with the grill off to show you how massive this thing is. Has a tweeter horn, mid-range horn, and 2 woofers. And of course, next to the speaker, you can see 2 of my spinner racks. I've got 4 of these. I think I'm needing to get another 1 or 2. They're still on eBay. They're about $250 a piece for this size. This capacity will hold about, I think, 660 Blu-rays, 4Ks. DVD's a little less because DVD's a little bit bigger. I just think they're so convenient. If you got a limited amount of floor space, and if you got a bigger collection, these spinner racks are the way to go. I freaking love them. So I kind of got that out of the way, talking about my collection and system. Let's get into talking about the channel itself. What inspired me to start my own channel. Talk about the physical media I've loved from day one. Love collecting, love movies. And I'm not sure I didn't purposely look for this stuff. I just somehow come across the Films at Home YouTube channel. You know, Jeff does a great job. You know, they saw some of the reviews and some of the stuff he was doing. And then after that, I started seeing, and then I come across Mid-Level Media. Ken does a weekly physical media report, and he does some Blu-ray hunting trips and discussions and different things. And I know there's many others out there I've been following those other, but those two are my main two that I'll watch consistently. So definitely a big shout out to, you know, Jeff and Ken for their what they do. So that, you know, I started thinking about, man, maybe I can do something myself. Give me something to do in my spare time since I don't work, so I have a lot of spare time. Now, as far as my content, I want to do a variety. I didn't want to be just, you know, a one-trick pony. Wanted to give a variety of stuff for people that might be interested in looking at different things. So I, you know, want to stick with the reviews. I'm kind of based, you know, what Jeff does at Films at Home. You know, I didn't want to copy entirely what other people are doing on their channel, so I kind of want to use his as a base to kind of go from, and I kind of did my own little spin on it to try to make it my own. Sometimes I don't discuss the movie, and I probably should. So if you haven't seen a movie, try to give you an idea what the movie is about. So I'm trying to do more of that, including that with then I'll talk about the video presentation and the audio, and I'll show some screenshots. But besides the 4Ks, I thought, well, a lot of times there's movies, you know, everybody out there is doing reviews of, so I want to change it up. I want to add some not so mainstream movies. You know, maybe titles that you haven't heard of, or you maybe heard of, but you're kind of iffy about. So I want to include some oddball titles and give my opinions on. So I'm, you know, including some Blu-rays that might not see the light of day on 4K, and even some DVDs that aren't even available on Blu-ray. But instead of doing, I think for the DVD ones, it's more of a recommendation video. You know, I don't talk about video and audio quality. I just want to kind of talk about, just recommend movies for you. Especially like, I've got a wide range of movies I like. You know, even though I love action, I love horror. But I love a nice sentimental, I love, you know, good family movies. Even I got to really appreciate some good Christian movies the last few years. So I want to recommend those for you. I mean, if you're looking for something different, don't be afraid if it's a Christian movie, because, you know, I'm not a Christian. I'm far from it. I don't go to church. But damn, as long as the story is good and well done, I'll watch it. And there's a lot of damn good Christian movies out there that me and my wife really like. And look at, you know, when you browse my videos on my channel, check those out. There's some movies there you might not know about and you might actually like. Also, I want to, you know, I've done a couple theatrical reviews and give you my thoughts on new movies as they come out. You know, I've done Top Gun Maverick, Halloween Ends, and I've done Avatar. I don't get to movies as much, you know, 'cause a good movie theater is about 3 hours away from us in Wichita, so going to the movies doesn't happen very often. Now, besides reviews, I like the, you know, other content I have. I want to do some unboxings. I haven't done many. I've only done a couple, actually. Because really, you know, for me, unboxing should, you know, I look at, you know, special edition sets, you know, which really I can't afford to get a lot of those. So I did one of my early videos was unboxing of the Ghostbusters set. Then I did an unboxing of the Secrets of Dumbledore little special edition set they come out with. And then unmovie related, I did an unboxing of some horror minifigs, Lego minifigs, which you can check those. Those are pretty cool. I want to get some more of those. Seeing have the little Michael Myers and Jason. You know, even got a little text, you know, Leatherface. Also, I do custom covers. You know, do some where I design my own covers and print those out and use them. And I've done several of those videos you can check out. I do monthly collection updates, and also trying to, you know, other discussions, just different odds and ends. You know, like I did talked about previously, my Evolution of Physical Media series, and other little oddball, you know, ideas that pop in my head might want to just, you know, talk about. You know, I've done, you know, a little discussion about 3D and Dolby Cinema, where I was comparing to Avatar and what I thought of that. And so far the channel has come a long ways. That's, you know, here's actually a screenshot from my very first video. You know, I started out just, you know, I didn't have no special place to do my videos, so it was just in our computer room. And I didn't have a fancy backdrop. I just had I basically stacked up some movies on the corner of the desk, put the camera on top of that, because I don't have a webcam, so I'll just use my digital camera. So, you know, I set the camera up on top of that, and voila, and that's how I did my first couple of videos. And plus, you know, being new to it, being in front of the camera, talking, it was pretty rough. After that, I posted a outtakes video that you have to check out. You laugh your ass off. There's a lot of language in it, but I was, you know, constantly screwing up. I couldn't get 2 words out without screwing something up. So I definitely have come a long way and getting a lot more comfortable being in the camera and talking, try to be more natural and not so stiff. Now here is soon after I had moved out to our little dining room next to the back door. Still nothing fancy, but I had a little bit more room. And this first one was done February 10th. And I just took the opposite side of the table. Now you had a chair that just stacked a box and some DVDs up, put the camera on and focused the other side, and got that. Here a couple weeks later, I finally I had to up my game a little bit and added an intro and tried to have a little bit more of a professional presentation, but still had, you know, didn't have a fancy background, had a crappy crap sitting all over. So finally, in the next month, I moved down here to the basement. Decided to do videos down here because it gives me a little more privacy, got some more room. And here's a picture of that first video. Nothing fancy, that's still nothing on the backdrop, so you got stuck looking at an ugly looking cement foundation. Now here coming in August, I finally was my 100th video, and it happened to be my Jaws 4K review. That was a big milestone for me, being a 100th video, but still ugly backdrop. And finally, I even contacted Jeff over at Films at Home, asking for some advice, and he actually suggests updating my thumbnails for my videos, spice them up a little bit, because I think previously they were only little screenshots from the video. So he suggested, updating those, enticing people to watch the videos. So definitely hats off to him for suggesting that. He also suggested about the backdrop, which I'd already had planned, but just put it up and voila, I got my backdrop. And here I think it was in October, I got the new backdrop put up, and I actually did a little video showcasing the 3 portraits I had up originally. Yeah, my next milestone was in November. I actually I posted my 100th review, which was the Meg 4K. I currently have about 132 reviews, and like I said, freaking geeky thing, gotta keep track of everything, but plus I did a spreadsheet, so if I forget what I've done, I can go back and look and see if I've done a review of a certain movie or not. Hey, I'm over 50. My mind ain't what it used to be. So to start kind of wrapping this up, I really enjoyed doing this so far, because up until I started this, being unemployed, wife is the only one working, and basically it's hard for me to get a job somewhere because we have an autistic son that needs round-clock care. So that type of care is kind of hard to find someone to take care of, and it's going to be expensive. So basically I'm a stay-at-home dad, and just over time it just kind of beat me down, started to struggle with depression. So this kind of gave me a purpose, keep me going, keep me a little sane. Always excited to, when I have posted videos, see the views that it gets. I get a comment here or there, not too many. I sometimes forget to say, in my reviews, I don't say enough of, leave a comment below, but please don't be afraid to leave comments below. I love seeing what people think. Always excited when I look at my subscriber numbers. I actually did hit 200 about a week or so ago. Went from like 198, 199, all of a sudden it went up to 201. Then a day or so later it was 200. I'm like, oh, hey, I lost someone. Then I went back up to 201. I've lost a couple here and there over time. It's kind of funny seeing. But I have to also have to do a big shout out to my wife Leslie. She's been great support of this. you know, not only allow me to buy the movies that I like, especially at the end of last year with the Black Friday deals. I don't think I probably shouldn't add up what we spent. She'd probably kill me, probably skin me alive. But also, you know, this channel, all this stuff, you know, I did all this on a low budget as far as fixing this up down here. But it still cost a little money here and there, you know. Had to, you know, buy a few pieces of lumber. You know, had to buy that hammer drill. Then my saw took a shit. Had to buy a new saw. So she's been really supportive. You know, been okay with letting me do that. Now continuing forward, pretty much more of the same. And you know, I'm going to keep up with the reviews. You know, 4K. I'm going to do some Blu-rays. You know, like there's a lot of movies out there that we're never going to see the light of day because of Disney. So you know, I'll probably talk about those and some DVDs. You know, I want to keep talking about titles that you may not know about, you know, throw stuff out there. Yeah, got some new discussion ideas. Got a few more coming around a bit. Here's going to be seeing real soon. You know, custom covers. I'm constantly doing some. I'm working on a set of covers now for the Universal Classic Monsters set. So I'm hoping to have those done within the next couple of weeks. Also, one of the other things that kind of pops in my head the other day, I'm thinking about doing a spotlight series. So my idea would be every so often I'd do a video just talking, I'd showcase like an actor, actress, or a producer, director, and then, you know, just a name attached to the industry. I thought it'd be cool to do like a history of that person, you know, what they've done growing up, blah, blah, blah. I thought that'd be a cool thing to add to my channel, so definitely look out for that. Another thing I really want to do is improve the quality of my screenshots. Because right now I'm still using my digital camera, taking pictures of the TV and loading to the computer. You know, look at these what Jeff and Ken and other people do on their channels. You know, their screenshots are fantastic. Mine, some are. Then sometimes some don't come out properly. So I definitely want to give a true representation of the 4K for my reviews. So I'm definitely working on that. If you guys have any suggestions on what to try. Like I said, I've got a TCL Roku TV. I'm just looking for a good way to get screenshots from the TV to my computer. So that pretty much does it. I try to give a little history of about my background with the physical media, getting into doing my YouTube channel, what I do, and some milestones. Talk about moving forward, what I want to do. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. What I've done so far, what you like. If there's something you don't like, things you might like to see, I might want to take in consideration and try out. Again, comment below. Tell me all about it, and we'll see you soon. Geek out.